Well, thank y'all for being here, and I think this is really a cool moment, and I know I aspire to this in my career where you can kind of write your own ending to your story of a storied career that Lance Harter's had here at the University of Arkansas. So what will be roughly a 34-year career right now that sits at 42 SEC titles, and I'm assuming there'll be more than that in the next 18 months, 6 NCAA titles in the 2019 calendar year Triple Crown. Just an amazing career, and as Lance and I visited some this summer and started to talk about his future and the future of our women's cross-country and track and field program, we started to put the pieces together for him to retire following the 2023 season, and he's got a lot of pride in what he has built here, and he wanted to hand the baton off to his associate head coach, Chris Johnson, and that made a lot of sense to me. Chris has been a sought-after coach in this industry. I think every summer since I've been here, I know Lance has gotten multiple calls about Chris and job opportunities, and he's somebody that I saw as I've developed a relationship with Chris that truly wanted him to be the next leader of our women's cross-country and track and field program. So I think it works out really great for our program. It's great for Lance and this kind of closing chapter in his coaching career here at the University of Arkansas, and for us to be able to pass that on to Chris Johnson, I think is the best scenario we could have. So with that, I know you want to talk to Lance and Chris, but Coach, any comments you want to make?
No, I just feel truly blessed that I have the leadership that allows me to have input on decisions about my career and about the program in general as far as women's track and field. And I've been very fortunate to have great assistant coaches be part of our program, and Chris Johnson. It didn't take long for the rest of the world in track and field to figure out that he is really, really special and has a great future. And I feel truly honored that we're able to put this whole thing together where our successor is going to, and the program is going to be in great hands.
We'll go ahead and take some questions. We'll go ahead and pull this up a little bit closer to you.
Bob, we'll start with you.
Lance, Hunter talked about you guys talked this summer. How long has this been in your mind? Because obviously you're still in good health, thankfully, and all that. But, when you're into your 70s, you got to start thinking about, like, how long has maybe it been in your mind that you need, and why did you decide 2023 was the right time, and why was now the time to announce it?
Well, I think that, when you hit 70, it just has a tendency, a lot of my peers reminding me all the time that I was 70. And, and I think it happens to everyone in every profession that the older you get is, okay, you're on the last inning of this ball game. When are you going to, close it out? And so my wife retired a few years ago, and she's always been one to, hey, there's nothing wrong with walking away, especially in the successes that we've been able to have. And to have the staffs that I have in the years past and present, it just made kind of a natural opportunity and break to walk away. And so Hunter and I, sat down and chatted about it, and July 2023 sounded like the right date. Plus, then I'd be able to enjoy July 4th.
Did you feel like the timing now, a year and a half out, was important for recruiting, just so people, recruits will know you're going to be retiring?
Yeah, this last crew that we have recruited, it's been quite clear to them that there could be a change in the program, and hopefully Chris Johnson would be the successor. And I think our whole staff is on the same page as far as the formula that we use to try to be winning SEC titles as well as national titles has proven to be successful year in and year out. And Chris is a big believer in that as well. And so it works out perfect to try to make as smooth a transition as possible.
Where does Brian Compton fit as far as near future and
Yeah, I mean, to July 2023, he is He's our man. And, then when we turn the reins over to Chris, obviously, there's some decisions he's going to have to make. And, I'll give Brian obviously the highest recommendation and Megan as well. Because, Megan Elliott has just done a fantastic job, understands our distance program and if there's natural weapons in Fayetteville to complement Chris, they're already here.
Also, is it going to be difficult to you to guard against being a lame duck when you feel you'll still have the same desire and everything, knowing that you're going to retire?
No, I think the passion is still there. I've always been real competitive, and I have good health. And as long as I'm, enjoying the experience and so on, does it scare me to retire? Yes, no doubt about it, because I've never done it before. But the opportunity to still be around and stay attached to track and field in some way or another, obviously love to be able to do that. But as long as I'm an asset to the program, I'll help any way I possibly can.
How many times in recent years has Chris come to you and said, hey, so-and-so called me, they want to interview me for this head coaching job or that head coaching job or maybe another top assistant job? And was there a point where you said, look, I'm not going to coach forever. If you can stay patient, you're going to be the guy? Or kind of what was the dynamic?
Yeah, I mean, the number is, I never calculated, but it was in the dozens. Every major job that, came about, I mean, Chris was always on the short list. And I think it was a situation where Hunter recognized that right away when he came on board. And, we would talk about, the future and, how are we going to put this all together? And obviously, probably the big question mark was when I would walk away. So we came up with July 1.
30 plus years in coaching, and every time we talk to you after you win a title, it's always the first thing you say is, couldn't have done it without the athletes. Everything goes to them. 30 years, that's a lot of athletes that you've had an impact on, and maybe you haven't thought about that yet. But have you ever looked back and think now all those lives that you've impacted in this building?
No, I am, again, truly blessed that as a coach, whenever you have an opportunity to share, 4 or 5 years of life, constantly in a daily fashion, I've been able to be part of a lot of people's families. And, that's part of coaching. And it's just one of the greatest honors you can have in the real world. A friend of mine retired a few years back, and he said, one of the blessings I've had is I never had to work a day in my life because I got an opportunity to coach. So, I've had great friends in the coaching ranks and been truly blessed that Coach Bucknam was so wonderful to work with. And prior to that, Coach Mack, which was, a daily, we ran every lunchtime together, and it was like a clinic every day about how to get, better and stronger and faster and the tricks of the trade. And hopefully we've shared those, the ones that I've been able to pass on to our athletes as well as our coaching staffs.
What would you say about Chris's impact on the program, why you feel like he's the guy to replace you? When
Lonnie Green had been with me for 17 years, had the opportunity to take the job at Purdue and eventually ended up at University of Kentucky, I counseled with him and said, okay, if you're going to leave, who's the guy I go after? And he said, you go after Chris Johnson. And I said, yeah, that was the first name that I thought of as well. I actually thought of his wife, Gigi, because, she was always my favorite. But so I went to the athletic director and said, hey, there's one guy that we need to go after. And he said, he asked 2 questions. He said, will that make you have the opportunity to win national championships? And I said, yes. And he said, is it going to be expensive? And I said, yes. And so we were able to, put that together, and the rest is history. 6 national titles since then. And I owe Coach Green a lot because there was no other name that we considered.
Just back when Bev hired you, could you ever envision retiring under these circumstances? Championships won. And
It's interesting. I called her yesterday and I said, I just want to let you know that, this is what's going to happen and so on and so forth. And I said, one of the things I always remember is that when you chose me to be your successor, you said you wanted to find somebody to take the program up a notch. And I felt when we were able to put this whole thing together with Chris that I'm doing the same thing, that we're going to be able to, go up another notch.
Lance, was it in the summer, like Hunter said, you guys talked, that you decide, okay, 2023 outdoors, that'll be it? Or when did you reach this decision, for sure that this was it?
Yeah, I think it was during the summer that we sat down and kind of, came to some conclusion that was a natural break in the process. And, July 1, 2023 sounded right.
All due respect to Chris, do you think there's a lot of celebrating going on around the SEC this right now?
I have had a few phone calls, yes. Yes, in fact, they're usually pretty polite about it. They say, hey, I'm really happy for you. I wish you the best, and so on and so forth, and you deserve it, and da-da-da. And, man, I'm so glad that your kids will all get on the portal tomorrow. So hopefully that won't be a factor. But, there's a lot of kidding, and there's a lot of appreciation of what went on, because I always wanted to represent the university with honesty and integrity, and I think we represented that in our men's and women's coaching staffs, and I think we're highly celebrated across the nation. But there will be no tears that I'm stepping down, I don't think. Maybe from my wife, because now there's possibility I might be home more than she wants. But we'll work that out.
And Hunter, how nice is it you don't have to do a coaching search?
Bob, it feels great, for sure. And, is disappointed, or, those coaches kind of ribbing him about him stepping down and opening the door for them to win championships. I think this transition, and as seamless as I believe it will be, with Coach Harter passing off the baton to Coach Johnson, I don't think we're going to miss a beat. And that's no disrespect to him. He's built an unbelievable program, but he's also helped Chris grow into this opportunity to be a head coach. And I think Chris will grab this opportunity, and he's going to continue to, as Coach said, take this program even to the next notch, if that's even possible, for our women's track and field program. Come on up here.
But between now and then, we still plan to win some other championships. Okay, we want to make sure that's clear. We're not going to take a break.